The stone. A barrier created that would rob us of our sight of a Savior. A dead body, with shredded layers of cold skin that reached to the bone. Eyes that had lost its color code and blood cells that no longer flowed. Could this really be Jesus? That man who swore he had the authority to forgive sins, who ate with scum and sinners and entitled them as friends. Did he not make many claims of bringing life that would never end, but now he lays there in a grave from a battle he did not win? How could a God who created the universe be banished by the ones he created? With words the world was formed. If he wanted to defeat death, then why didn't he just state it? The stone, rolled until the last ray of light slipped from the tiniest crack, reinforced with ropes and chains that were attached by soldiers who refused to let the tomb be approached or harassed. Jesus is dead. He's dead. Along with every single promise that he had made, along with every bit of our faith, along with every single word that we had prayed, the Messiah, the King of all kings, the one who kept on saying, insisting that he loves me, he's dead. All hope that came with his arrival has been consumed with his final breath. If Jesus lost, then I'm wondering, am I going to lose next? The enemy put nails in his hands, and now he has his hands around my neck. I'm done. I'm finished. Along with Jesus, my faith is dead. But then, the soldiers who lay by the tomb raised their heads in curiosity. Nobody should be in that tomb where Jesus lay. It was empty and sealed shut, just as it ought to be. The soldiers dropped their weapons as they saw a light illuminate from behind that stone, ran for their life as they watched the ropes burst on their own, and from behind that stone, life inside of a dead body began to show. A curling of fingers and toes, fibers of tissue reattaching, leaving no scars in its trace. A gasp of oxygen expanded the lungs of a man which had not breathed for 3 days. Eyelids opening like curtains and pupils dilating once again. That man got up, dusted off his nail-pierced hands, grabbed the edges of that heavy stone, rolled it across the sand. Jesus Christ has risen, and death never stood a chance. The stone, what was once a symbol of death, now redefines into a symbol of hope. The broken chains stay tangled in the ropes, and the king steps over each one as he heads toward his throne in preparation for the adoption for each of us to become one of his own. If the day that Jesus died was eventually referred to as the greatest day in history, then one day too shall our darkest moments become a stepping stone to victory. If the chains cannot hold my king, then no longer shall they hold me. If the grave cannot keep him asleep, then no longer shall I remain in defeat. If you, enemy, cannot take out the Christ, then no longer shall you control my life, because you thought you had Jesus, but he opened his eyes. So do not rejoice over me, because I too will rise. The stone has now become a fortress that I run to. And when the darkness closes in, that stone is where I turn to. Because in this stone is where I see my giants meet their end. It's in this stone that I find that forgiveness for my sins. It's in this stone where I, the sinner, am labeled as the friend. In this stone is where I find that life that never ends, because Jesus Christ is now the stone that I stand upon. Higher than all mountains and rooftops, it's where I find my freedom song. The stone that was once rejected has protected his promise. The creator of the universe holds his creation once more, and no darkness can ever harm us. Sons and daughters adopted in his name, and never again shall we be alone. No death, no sin, no grave, no chain can ever stop me from running toward my home, because I have been raised to life, and it's all because of the stone.